that shot. It was impossible. So we knew for a fact here, when I shot the information back over to my coach, he looked at it and said, yes, there's somebody at the end of the couch shooting straight back at her. Chances are the woman that you're looking at didn't write any of this. She's doing nothing but posing for those shots, and the other con, or the hook man, is actually writing the script. People don't realize how emotionally they get involved. You get involved so strongly, you're thinking of, oh, how can I help her and all this, that they actually draw you into their lives. And then comes the door slammer. She gets a hold of me by email and says, Bill, I need to do something. And I just have to, I love you so much. And I know you can help me. And tomorrow's my birthday and I don't have the money. So I naturally emailed back, how much money do you need? She says, well, I only need $1,100. Chances are, as we both discovered or discussed, her rent was probably due and she was looking for a sugar daddy to pay the rent. So I can go to the orphanage and buy them these gifts and pizzas at the orphanage. Well, I said, no, I don't have the money. Oh, I know you don't. I know I shouldn't have asked you. This went on for a time of approximately 6 rotations. What the coach said, a rotation is simply where they'll back off, come out with some other information, and then drag you back in. But I know you can do it. Candace, I know you can send me the $1,100.
No, I'm not sending anything.
No, and that's exactly what I told her. After the 3rd time, I said, look, I'll think about it. And what I'm going to do is, you get a hold of me my time, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning on chat.
So do people really fall for this? That's what you're telling me.
Absolutely.
That they fall for this huge story. They fall
for this huge story, is used by cons that rake the whole emotional status of their victims out. And then they turn around and go for the kill. Well, if you don't have the money, I bank with Bank America or I bank with Wells Fargo, so send me your check there.
Do you know how big of an industry this is?
Millions of dollars a year being scammed off of. It is so wide and so diversified. It started originally the old con man routine where it was face-to-face, where they would start working.
Of course.
But now the internet, through Craigslist and a few other platforms, have given them a wider field to work. A lot of them have moved off of Craigslist because we all know now that 97% of everybody that's on a platform is usually on Facebook. Now, what an easy way to be able to be deceitful. You can change the picture and put a picture of somebody else up there, maybe a gorgeous star or somebody from a foreign country. The Philippines are extremely good at this. A lot of gals come out of the Philippines. A lot of these people are hookers that don't want to hook anymore. Believe it or not, they found it easier to be able to suck money out of people on the internet than to go the other way and walk the streets. Usually it's a 2-man or 2-person combination. One writes the script, the other one follows through. We discovered by the timing and everything that this gal had to have been in Washington. She was not in Virginia. Number 2, if
Washington State or D.C.?
No, Washington State. By the timings of the response time, you can't respond within 2 seconds from Virginia back to Washington and then disappear again. They set down what we call analogs to the anarhythms to figure out exactly and try to estimate through GPS where she was at time-wise. And it came back that they felt that she was sitting in Washington.
You keep saying she, but really it was probably he.
Could have been a he, or could have been a girlfriend and a boyfriend that do nothing but scam people instead of working for a living. Dope money, etc.
So how do we safeguard ourselves?
The best way to safeguard, and this happens not to just men either. I know a little old lady that has the same problems. I've met several people that have run into this high babe routine. First thing you do, when they ask you to confirm their friendship, go to their page. If it's all women, very little information about them, and down below, it could be all women or it could be all elderly men or whatever, and there's no real information, maybe 2 or 3 pictures posted, stay away from it. Walk away. Don't get involved. This is the first trap they use to get you to respond. Next, if you do respond and it shows up on Messenger, chop it off. Get rid of them. You can go to Facebook and block them out. And block them out. Turn them out. This particular gal, at 6 o'clock in the morning that I was discussing, we literally chopped her off. She did send me an email, which I've never read, and I have all this stuff on file, by the way. of her answer back to me and how upset she was that I thought she was a liar and a thief. Because I did address in the final deal, I know you're lying, I know that you're conning, and you are a con person. And your partner should really work a little bit more on the script and timing because it's off just a touch. And I sent it to her, of course, and got a very interesting one back, which I haven't read. The problem is if people aren't wise to this, especially little old people that have lost their loved ones, that are sitting at home and have nothing to do anymore and are emotionally fragile, they'll work on them. And these people will send them checks, they'll send them cars, whatever they need, thinking that they're romantically going to meet and fall in love and live happily ever after. The only thing they're going to meet is the banker who explains to them that they no longer have any cash in their account, that they've been cleaned off. These gals will disappear after they're blocked, change their photo pages over, and come back with a new name, a different name altogether, and run the scam. And they can run it over and over and over again.
So how do you file charges, or do you?
You can't. There's a couple of groups that are on the internet now. Pierce County has a group that seeks pedophiles, perps. They seek people that are in this area that are ripping others off. Look in your directories or whatever, or go online and type it out. There's even child groups now that are working to monitor quotations, to monitor different approaches. I'm off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember some of them that come across. I'm so involved in this conversation, to be honest with you, Candace. This is, without a doubt, it's financially hurtful, but let's stop and analyze something for just a moment. It also is emotionally upsetting. Elderly people that are really dependent upon trying to survive, that want to reach out and be good, people to help others, are really slapped in the face when they find out that there is no such person. Now, not too long ago, I met a lady that fell madly in love with a guy from England. I had a wonderful opportunity to sit down and talk to her. She had discovered this guy on Facebook, madly in love. He wanted her to hightail it to England and meet with her and all this other neat stuff. Okay, well, he didn't exist. She found out later on that he didn't exist at all, period, zip.
So did she go?
She was lucky enough that she challenged and was talking to another friend who said, I wouldn't send him any checks. There's something wrong about this whole thing. Well, she kind of backed off, and later on, about 3 weeks later, another lady, and I won't give out her name because I don't have permission to, but you know her, Candace, found out that the guy was then going after her. Darling, it's good to see you. You need to, join me, and we'll put our finances together, and I'll show you how we can fall madly in love in England and live high on the hog. Same con, same guy. Pictures were different, however, but the same scenario was being used. This is a tragedy. This has got to be stopped. And it doesn't just stop and think about it. It doesn't just affect individuals in a romantic aspect of it. Let's take it even further. Let's take it into sex trafficking. Let's take it into drugs. Let's take it into all those different facets that unfortunately the wild world of the internet produces for these con artists and thieves. Got to be aware of what's going on. Check your sources. Watch what you're doing on the internet. Don't give out social security numbers. Don't give out any ID information that can be stolen from you, because that's what these people need to sell if they can't get you to send them a check.
Wow. Well, Bill, you've given us a lot of information, and it's been a very interesting topic. I had no idea that it was that rampant. So I'll keep a lookout. I don't usually make a lot of friends on Facebook that want to talk, although I have a lot of followers, but always needing to hear more wisdom on how to safeguard my friends, family, their small businesses. So, Bill, do you have a final word to say before we conclude today?
Well, I think the final word is just use common sense. Have a good time on the internet. Social media is fun, and it's very important to your business. Just use common sense, and if it doesn't look right, don't get involved.
Well, until next time.
I'm Bill.
I'm Candace, and we're the Disruptors.